Okay guys, they place a lot of the new CKD X70 over here for us to video, but of course, given that this is the launch of the X70, there are a shit ton of people over here. As we all have expected, right? There are no discernible external design differences with the cars. There is one new color introduction, and there is the deletion of the four-wheel drive variant because the pickup rate is rather low. So you can see the colors that are being placed here, alright, all of them, and then of course people will be around the new color. I mean, of course, this type of color is not new to Malaysians. I think grey is like the safe guy daring choice now. Given that white, is popular, and of course other colors, and of course the red ever so popular as well. It's a good looking color, matches well with the leather seats, and of course this one is a very good color as well. One thing that I really like about the X70 is that every time someone pops open the hood, I always like the view of the engine bay, because at this price point, there are no other cars that tidy up the whole engine bay the way the X70 does. Right, so to see this, you have to be in cars like I don't know, 400,000-500,000 ringgit, or Lexus. They do that, but very few car makers would put the effort, put the investment into tidying up the engine bay. In a way, yes, to some mechanics it's like, I need to remove more panels to fix your car, but in a way it also prevents the leaves and other stuffs in there. I know it's nice to have a clean engine bay like this, fully covered. Alright, now all the stuffs look the same, right? It is still the good looking X70, and I'm glad they did not do the facelift that was introduced in China and all that, because that will seriously affect the resale value of current X70 owners. From the strategy of what they present today, those who already own the X70, you can rest assured that your car's resale value will not be affected much. Alright, top variants has the Ultra Contact UC6 from Conti, great tires, okay, and in terms of feature, it is still the same high spec, high feature laden X70. You have the high quality leather seats, you have the ventilated seats, you have the adaptive cruise control, you have the voice command. All these are still there, and of course the new thing everybody has known. Look at that, that's the new one. That's a new shifter for the 7-speed dual clutch. Alright, power has been up a little bit, price down a little bit, a lot more better value when it comes to the 4G package, the data package that comes with the car, and then they have optimized the engine ECU to pair better with the 7-speed dual clutch. So now 0 to 100 is 1 second faster, fuel economy is better by 13%, and overall, I mean, I really want to drive it, the dual clutch gearbox. We flew Con to China earlier on to look at the plant that produces the dual clutch transmission, the 7-speed dual clutch. So now we're happy to see it fitted into the locally assembled X70, and you can't really find any huge differences when it comes to the quality of the whole thing, basically. Now what I felt different is the leather on the door panels and the leather on the seats felt slightly different, the touch, but it looks, I mean, it's barely discernible. Alright, you still have this material on the dash, the brushed aluminium look-alike material, still a very nicely fit and finished interior for its price point. I mean, you can even compare this interior upwards to cars that are 200,000 ringgit. Alright, the fit and finish is just excellent. The design cues are still the same, especially this one. This one is already like a Geely design idiom, right? The door handle comes up together with the opening mechanism. Alright, everything else is the same. Okay, you still have this really plush seats, and I would presume the boot is still that small. Alright, look at the sunroof. The sunroof blind still the same. The sunroof blind to some is a bit too thin, so that the sun glares will still come in. But overall, it's the same car, apart from having a dual clutch gearbox, having better improvement when it comes to performance, fuel economy, and the price has dropped. And if you are hoping for a huge deduction in price, do know this. Now, most car makers, when they do a CKD, and before the CKD started, the initial CBU, the pricing would be somewhat similar to the CKD, not too far apart. Why? Because the government gave a good exemption to those who are 100% planning to do CKD, to encourage them to come here to support our local vendors, to have localized parts in the car. So for Proton to be able to further reduce the price, even though it is only that slightly, but when you add up the stuffs that they throw into this car, right? The 4GB package, 5-year unlimited, 5-year 1GB package. The 4GB is only for the first 3,000 people who book the car, and then you get 5-year unlimited mileage warranty, all this, and then you get 5 labor-free service and all that. The value that they represent in this car is a lot bigger than what you see from just the face value of the discounts. So I think that is a very, very welcome proposition. Alright? So again, there are no cars in this segment at this price point that runs on a CAN bus system. If you haven't watched my previous videos, let me explain. The X70 runs on an architecture that is very advanced, that is run by those BMW, Mercedes, Volvo and all that. So what do I mean by CAN bus architecture is that all the wiring goes to a central ECU, and the central ECU has an interface that the driver can interact with, and that allows you to control the parameters of the car. You can use your voice to lower the window, you can use your voice to lower the panoramic glass and all that. These are only capable on cars that runs on CAN bus architecture system. So this is a very advanced car for its price point. Alright, so yeah, glad to see this car spurring Proton sales. Last year they sold 29,000 X70s, which makes it the most popular premium. Do I call it premium? I mean, they call it like 100k above, you know. It's the most sellable one out there, and it has dented the sales of B segment sedans, it has dented the sales of C segment sedans, it has affected the sales of other C segment SUVs by quite some margins, but it is also understandably why. Alright, and another thing is that now this engine is Euro 6 compliant, so let's hope that Proton, with the CKD and all that, we're able to export this car into other markets. Alright, that is the hard part, because Proton now sells rather exclusively to Malaysia. I mean, other markets are insignificant in terms of volume, right? And 100 over 1,000 unit is still a long way away to have that kind of critical mass to be an independent car maker. Of course, with the backing of Geely, you know, that is a very, very good thing, because you now have ready platform, ready models that you can save in a way in terms of R&D costs. But Malaysia is a very good gateway for Geely's cars, especially right-hand drive. They don't have right-hand drive before this, right? So Malaysia will be the place where the right-hand drive conversion happens, and the export into markets like Australia, Middle East, etc. That will be a very, very good start. I really want to see Proton grow out of our country borders, right? That is the goal. And thank you to the parties, the governments, people who actually contributed in not just shutting it down. I mean, we were all saddened, right, a few years ago. Anyway, so here's the updated X70, and I believe it will still sell really, really well, because it is still a very, very compelling package. There are still no competitors in terms of what it can do and what it is priced at. For now, there are still no competitors for now, but of course the shock factor is not as big as when it first arrived. Oh, that's a very nice leather seat that I'm looking at. That's a nice combination. White stitching, same quality materials. That's really nice. Alright, that's the white color, and that was, I don't know what's the name of that color, but I remember it was there in the previous X70. Alright, so short video because there aren't too big of a difference. If you want to watch my other videos, I have done more than 1,000 car reviews in the past few years, so all cars are recent makes and models, and I've extensively reviewed the X70, even doing a hill climb run in it. Of course, I believe now with the dual clutch gearbox, my hill climb run could be faster. Alright, cheers guys, signing off.